Hi, it is I, your well-bearded friend. Well, I'm here to tell you about something magical today. Something that is a very important piece of information. It is a piece of information about playing card games. And sometimes how buying singles dreadfully outweighs purchasing product itself. One, purchasing singles just, if you have a local card games store, purchasing singles from your local card game store really helps support them. I worked for a local card game store, local game store, literally 10 years ago in a co-op position, and it was beautiful. So I highly suggest supporting your LGSs by buying singles from them. But this is not what this is about. This is about the benefits of buying singles as opposed to buying sealed product. I have been playing card games most of my life. And what I mean by most of my life, I have been playing card games since I was 6 years old and I am 30. So, like, 24 years of my life. 24 years of my life. I was basically able to read Harry Potter and Yu-Gi-Oh! At the same time. It was insane. Literally going further in the card games, I started cluing in really early that singles were the way to go. I had gotten a collection for Christmas, which had very very cool single cards, but I had also gotten some packs too. And in the pack, I had gotten a Ghost Rare Rainbow Dragon from Yu-Gi-Oh, which is worth several thousands of dollars right now. I wish I still had that thing. But I digress. This is about a vast majority of card games and why buying singles is important. In that collection of cards my grandfather had purchased me was a whole bunch of single cards. And boy, I was happy to see a lot of these single cards. I didn't have to buy a bunch of packs to get all of these cool cards all at once. And that's when my neurons activated. My neurons activated in such a way that I realized it's just a lot better to get these cards straightforward instead of just gambling on buying all these card packs and pulling what I want. So, I started buying singles from a very young age. And what I mean from a very young age, I mean by the time I was 11, I was already getting cards off of eBay with my birthday and Christmas money, and if I earned some money by doing some work for my family, they would pay me for it and I would get cards with it. It was beautiful. So, going further, I acquired a skill of buying and selling cards and making money off of selling cards. More neurons activated. Then my neurons regressed for a little bit in my very early 20s. Then they reactivated for a little bit. And what I mean by that is at one point when I hit 19, I started buying boxes of cards because I had the ability to buy booster boxes. I had finally gotten my source of income and I could finally purchase a booster box here and there. And I had hit good with booster boxes for a while. I had made lots of money off of booster boxes at a time where I was lucky to make the amount of money off of booster boxes I was. Then, after I was done making the money off of booster boxes and reselling cards, I just had a bunch of extra stuff that I would not use. I mean, granted, having a bunch of bulk is nice. But then I got into buying singles again. Because I started wanting to play again and not just for the financial gain of it. I started buying boxes again to try to get the cards I wanted because I'm like, oh, I'll just pull an Emrakul. I'll just pull a Liliana. I could guarantee pulling a Liliana and an Emrakul, even though I'd spend like maybe twice or 3 times their price to get the box. So technically I'm paying 3 times their price to get a box of cards. When reality is, I could just purchase them maybe at an even cheaper rate than what they're going for. And after I had lost a lot of money on booster boxes, and not just Magic the Gathering, but Yu-Gi-Oh! My neurons reactivated to what they were when I was a kid. I should be buying singles. And enter the singles era, Devin. Once again, I was buying and selling singles, making bank off of buying and selling singles. Buying and selling singles was one of the best decisions I made for myself again. I could put together an entire commander deck for less than the price of a full, like, one of the cheapest boxes of Magic the Gathering. Now, Magic the Gathering boxes have gone up to, like, $200 a box for some Canadian, and it's absolutely bullshit. But buying singles? I could put together an entire deck for less than $50. Less than $50. And it will kick ass. Less than $50. By buying all singles. If I want to make it a little better, I could throw an extra $50 in it worth of singles and make it like 12 times better just by buying more singles. You're not going to be able to find sealed product of Fallout. Let alone if you find it, you're not going to be able to afford it like that. So buying singles is the way to go. Same with Yu-Gi-Oh! Same with One Piece. Same with a whole bunch of other games. It's a formula. It's all a gotcha. In the second-hand market, it's usually a lot easier to procure the single cards you want, rather than blowing a whole bunch of money on boxes hoping you're going to get what you get. That's compulsive gambling, and I've been there. I have been there with compulsive gambling, and it's not necessarily the greatest thing. I'm not necessarily saying you shouldn't buy boxes, because buying boxes, hell, is fun. You buy a box, it's great. But if you've noticed on my channel, I haven't done a box opening on this channel, I don't believe, since last year's Battle of Legends Terminal Revenge for Yu-Gi-Oh! And that was one of the two times I felt like buying a box of something, hoping to pull what I wanted. Because I was like, you know what, let's have some fun. It'll be some content. Then I bought the singles right afterwards that I was looking for. Moral of that story is stick to singles, even though, like, the content was fun, I guess. So, in my closing statement, I wish to state one more thing about buying singles that is one of the most important things that I've learned from buying singles in general. It is a lesson in patience. A lesson in patience is, you can understand you don't want to pay this amount of money for a card. There's a lot of trends that make cards go down in prices if you pay attention. For instance, with my recent Sephiroth the Fabled Soldier purchases, I purchased one when he dipped severely low on June 2nd. Then I purchased another one earlier this month for the same price I purchased the other one at. Any other time, that card was like about 60 Canadian to 70 Canadian. And I managed to find it for 50 Canadian twice. Buying singles isn't necessarily that much of a travesty on your wallet in the long run of things. If you pay attention to the card prices, you'll easily be saving a lot more money trying to get the cards you want, rather than gambling on a box and getting disappointed when you don't get it. Thank you for coming to my talk on purchasing singles rather than buying booster boxes. I hope you have a great day. Like, comment, and subscribe, all that stuff. And don't forget to drink your water. See you in the next one.